So good to see you, all of you. And today we're going to talk about how to finish important topics before the exam comes. So today we will talk about how to finish most important topics. Right now, you must have heard that in University of Delhi, they have removed Dalit literature. Dalit literature has been removed from the syllabus of University of Delhi. That is also going to be our main topic today because I'll be talking about some important Dalit literature writers. Every net exam, every time, they have one or two questions from Dalit literature. Yes, good morning. Good morning. I slept late actually. I slept by 12:30, 12:31. Yes, itne log. It is now it's showing only 92 students. It will be by 200 students. It will cross 200. That's my crowd. That's Venetians. That's my crowd. Crazy crowd. पूरे भारत में इस वक्त इतने स्टूडेंट्स आधी रात को पढ़ रहे हैं उठ के और उठ के पढ़ रहे हैं. Don't worry, even I slept by 12:30. My eyes are paining. Yes, Venetians. Arre, I am proud of you. I'm proud of you. Nitish has taken vaccine yesterday and Nitish has come for class. Very good, Nitish. बहुत बढ़िया. Very good. Morning from Kerala, from Bikaner. Tashush says she didn't sleep. Anam also has taken vaccine. Hope you guys are not having any fever. I'm good. I'm good. So taking for 2-3 minutes, I'll be also guiding you what to read in paper one. You keep asking that, Vineet sir, please share your experience of paper one. How did you prepare paper one? Divya from Jodhpur. कैसे हैं Divya? So I'll be telling you my idea of paper one, what to do for paper one, what are the latest important topics for this exam, and the concept of removal of Dalit literature from the University of Delhi. It is going to become a political issue now. It's a political fight, a political vendetta is going on, and they have removed the Dalit literature. DU was one of the first university to introduce Dalit literature. And imagine they have even removed Mahashweta Devi's famous work Draupadi. This has been a question of Karnataka set exam, net exam. How can they remove these things? Hello Himanshi, hello. It's only 3 minutes. Yes, we can take your attendance. 127 students are here. 127. Thank you. Yes, getting up early is, the biggest reason why I am also getting up early is to motivate you to find a routine in your preparation. That's the only reason I am also killing my eyes. And I keep telling you, I always tell you that if you have work in the day, don't get up at 3. But did you ever question that I have the work for the rest of the day? I'm supposed to go to office, I'm supposed to reply, I'm supposed to take calls, but still I get up because this is making me stronger, better. I'm enhancing my own endurance. When I get up for 5 minutes, I am also lost. I am human like you. You are human, I am human. When I'm dreaming, I'm in Maldives, and all of a sudden the alarm goes on, and you have to wake up for 5 minutes, I am also lost. I'll be like, why it's 3? Okay, it's 3. And then you keep washing your face, come back from Maldives, come back to Delhi. It's painful, but that's what we are doing. We are doing it for our dreams. We are different. So, use your pen paper. The first thing that you have to read, Mahashweta Devi's Draupadi, a story of a tribal girl where she has been raped by the imperial police, speaks for Dalit rights, speaks for feminist rights, and moreover, the concept of Draupadi. The spelling is Draupadi, it's not Draupadi exactly. It is based on the reference that this is the modern girl. She speaks in outrage, rage, she's angry, and she removes the last cloth from her body and challenges the inspector, challenges the inspector to rape her. She has already been raped by many soldiers, and by removing the last cloth, she challenges. It's like she has gone through the tortures to a level where she has become a rebel now. She wants to fight back. So make sure you remember Mahashweta Devi Draupadi is very very important. It has been removed from University of Delhi syllabus. It's a burning topic. You know this concept that Dalit literature has been removed from University of Delhi. It was in top newspapers. Most of the students they don't even know that this is happening. This is the latest thing. So make sure you remember this point. Second thing, Om, have to remember Om Prakash Valmiki, famous work Jutan. No need to read complete story, but make sure you remember that Om Prakash Valmiki is there. Daya Pawar, famous work Baluta, is there. Sharmila Rage, Sharmila Rage, famous work Writing Caste, Writing Gender. It is there. Durga Bai Vyam, famous work Bhimayana. It's there. And then in Dalit literature, you also have to remember Meena Kanda Swami. Meena Kanda Swami, famous work Torch, and famous work Torch. It's a Torch or Touch, I'm not sure. I'm making a mistake. It should be like touch. Okay, check it. And you also have to go for Baby Kamble. Baby Kamble. For the book, The Prison We Broke. These are the most important things. Don't miss these things. And then the Untouchables. Mulk Raj Anand's Untouchable is very, very important. Thank you, Ramesh. Yeah, it is touch. Abhi this is 3 a.m. mind. So not 100% sharp. So make sure you remember all the writers and the books that I have told you for Dalit literature. They are very, very important. Second thing, most of the students when they prepare British history, they make a mistake. The mistake is they focus on Virginia Woolf, they focus on Eliot, they focus on James Joyce, but you miss Henry James. Don't miss Henry James. Henry James is equally very important. So, Portrait of the Lady, where the character Isabella Archer is a lead, heroine, it's very important. Then this Wings of Dove, I think it was published in 1902. It's very, very important. Do not forget Wings of Dove. Do not forget Portrait of the Lady. It's very, very important. Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Jamini. And then, along with these things, when you read W.H. Auden, remember this thing that Auden, when he praised W.B. Yeats in memory of W.B. Yeats, that is the modern elegy. So, Auden is not only famous for September 1, 1939 or for Shield of Achilles, he has also written Ascent of F6 plus W.B. Yeats' memory, which is very, very important in memory of W.B. Yeats. The death of his day was a dark, cold day. So the airports were frozen. He talks about the modern references, and he also says that W.B. Yeats he became of his followers. Means when he died, he says Yeats became of his followers. It was the news of rumors. It was the morning of newspapers. This kind of lines are there, and when you read all of these things, make sure you remember that all of these modern writers, we find one important poetry group, Oxford group. Sometimes most of the students are making a mistake. We think only that Virginia Woolf is there, James Joyce is there, Henry James is there, D.H. Lawrence is there, so we are prepared with moderns. The best ever poetry group in moderns is Oxford Poetry Group, 1930s group. Make sure you remember that thing. How many of you remember a special name? There are four writers involved. There is a special name. Let's see who writes it. No, Tractarian was in Victorians. Tractarian was in Victorians. Thank you. Thank you. Hello Aditi, कैसे हो? Simran Bhatia has found the answer. They are called pink poets. But pink poets is not the famous name. It is Oxford poet, the poet of 1930s, also called the left-wing poets, also called the Meg Spawn Day and the Auden group. So, poet of Oxford poetry. So, Oxford poets, first name. poet of 1930s, second name. Third one is left wing poets. Fourth one is Mac Sponday, Macspau Spawn, Spaunday. Louis McNeice, Stephen Spender, W.H. Auden, C.D. Lewis. These are the name, also known as Auden Group. These are the most important first writers of modern age, modern poetry. Second thing that you have to do is, as I've given you the names of magic realism, make sure that you already have left wing poets because they were against the government. लेफ्ट विंग लिबरल्स, जैसे आप लोग हमें देखते होगे, हम लोग को, आप लोग को बहुत सारे लोग लिबरल्स बोलते हैं. इट विल बी वेल दिस विल बिकम अ पॉलिटिकल थिंग, आई शुड नॉट टॉक लाइक दैट. But sometimes it has become a fashion in India, like people calling each other, oh tu to liberal hai. So one should always be liberal. One should always be liberal. Liberal is somebody who is not strict for anything. Okay. So yeah, when you hello, Beneath is here. So when you go for it, the magic realism, make sure Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Angela Carter, Salman Rushdie, and Gunter Grass, these four writers are prepared for it. Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the famous work, The Hundred Years of Solitude, where they talk about a city of ghosts, the souls, the dead souls, they visit the city, Macando. It's very very important. So make sure you आप अच्छे से पढ़ के आओ, you read it. Okay, what you have to read is Hundred Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. You can also read Love in the Time of Cholera. That's a good story. Okay. Second thing, for Angela Carter, when you read, Angela Carter is one of the female writers. She has used magicalism in her various works. Okay. The Night in the Circus is an important story. When Salman Rushdie comes, how many of you actually know the important characters of Midnight Children? Shiva, Parvati, or others. Midnight Children has multiple references. Salman Rushdie says in Midnight Children that the people, the kids who were born at a particular time of partition had some powers. They could communicate with telepathic powers. So Midnight Children is very, very important. Okay. Along with these things, Gunter Grass, Tin Drum, Dancing Trilogy. So Dancing Trilogy, you don't have to read everything like Dog Ears, Cat and Mouse. You don't have to read all of these things. What you have to read is Tin Drum. Oscar Mariades is an important character. Oscar Mariades, he doesn't grow up. He decides not to grow up. And this concept has been taken from Peter Pan, a famous book written by J.M. Barrie. J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan, which became a comics. Peter Pan decides never to grow up, and then it doesn't grow up. So Peter Pan is always a kid with superpowers. It has inspired Oscar Mariade's character in Tin Drum written by Gunter Grass. ये सारी चीज़ें पढ़ लेना. Now, along with these things, in Americans, as you were asking me question like what to read in Americans, whenever the the phrase comes American literature, there are some 7 to 8 names which are always very important for you. You cannot introduce American literature or talk American literature if you don't know Hemingway, Washington Irving, if you don't know Cooper. When you read Fenimore Cooper, make sure you remember that you know the leather stocking novels. Washington Irving is very, very important. Salma Gundi essays, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, it's very important. Then you have this guy, Fenimore Cooper, James Fenimore Cooper. He talks about leather stocking novels. Net exam has multiple questions asked from leather stocking novels, Natty Bumpoo series. So there are books, a lot of books written in this. So Natty Bumpoo is very important character. Natty Bumpoo is an ideal cowboy image. So आपको ये पढ़ना है, leather stocking novels इसी के novels को कहते हैं, ये पढ़ना है आपको. Then the intellectual standards of American literature, the intellect, the deepest understanding of American life. Arthur Miller. Arthur Miller's, Death of a Salesman, or The Man Who Had All the Luck, Misfits. It's everything amazing. That's amazing. Then Hemingway, representing the American spirit. So Old Man and the Sea, obviously it's a classic. The Sun Also Rises, it's a classic. You have to read all of these things. Along with this thing, you can also go for Hemingway's famous works where he talks about the references. He talks about the war experiences, war references. It's very, very important. The concept of lost generation. The concept of lost generation. You know, there is a movie, a Hollywood movie, Midnight in Paris. Midnight in Paris, it's a Hollywood movie, and it's a movie about time travel. So, what happens? A hero goes to a particular street, he's walking somewhere in the market, he wants to take a cab. He's waiting in the cab in the, a street which is a very much lonely street. Okay, it's totally empty, nobody's there, it's a lonely street, secluded in a dark side, and the hero takes a cab. And when he comes out of the cab, he finds that the time he's been changed. He goes to a party, he meets Hemingway, he meets F. Scott Fitzgerald, he meets Gertrude Stein, he meets Picasso and other painters and a lot of guys from time travel. It's a movie, The Midnight in Paris. I really wish if I could make a video on this thing after the exam, not now. So, in short, Hemingway is the most important figure of American literature. पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा. Dr. Somik, you're requesting me to repeat Dalit literature. You have joined late. I cannot repeat the same thing. Don't worry, the video is with you. The video is with you. Okay. Why the hell everyone is talking about it? About it what? Anyway, if anybody is not a genuine character, genuine student, so please I suggest you don't waste your time. Sleep. नींद बहुत अच्छी आएगी. Okay. So that's the reason I don't like taking a lot of comments. It diverts your attention. Hemingway we have talked, Arthur Miller we have talked, Eugene O'Neill, 4 Pulitzer Awards, Beyond the Horizon, Anna Christie, Long Day Journey into the Night, Strange Interlude. 4 Pulitzer Awards. Make sure you remember that. Eugene O'Neill. Even Robert Frost has also won 4 Pulitzer Awards. Remember this thing. Sometimes the students make a mistake. When you get the word Eugene O'Neill, what comes in your brain? Hairy ape. Okay, it's a classic. A boy who thinks that he doesn't fit in the society enters in the case of a gorilla because everybody calls him a beast. Okay, then we have Emperor Jones. Emperor Jones is a nigger slave. He has become the emperor in a colonial area, in an island. He has become emperor. He forces people, he tortures people. Then one day a businessman comes to him, and the businessman says that people are not going to leave you. They are being ready for the revolution. He simply says, Emperor Jones, he says that nobody can kill me. Emperor Jones says nobody can kill me. Why? He says that I have created some fabricated story. I have told them that I am a devil, I am a powerful man, supernatural man, and I'll only be killed with a silver bullet. If you have seen Hollywood movies, vampire movies, they always have a silver bullet. Sorry, they always have a silver bullet. And using the silver bullet, so he says that I have given them the impossible idea that to kill me, they need a silver bullet. So the businessman says that when you were giving them a hopeless idea, you actually ended giving them a hope. Now they know that we need a silver bullet, and they have molded one silver bullet with metal. So they worked hard, they have molded one silver bullet. Now they're approaching towards your castle, they are going to kill you. It shows that the people, those who are natives, are now protesting against the colonizers and they have found their ways. Silver bullet is actually a message that they have found the way to remove the tyranny, to remove the dictatorship. And now they are reaching towards the palace, they are beating drums. इसमें symbolic moment बहुत सारे हैं, symbols बहुत सारे हैं. The rising drums, beating drums, clamoring sound is an announcement that it is the end of Mr. Emperor Jones. It is the end of colonization. Emperor Jones starts running to save himself. There is a boat for him, a secret boat for him, so that he can run away. And when he runs away, he finds his dress is heavy. He throws his turban, he throws his costly robe, and because this is, you know what, he's actually getting guilt free. He's throwing everything. and keeps on running, keeps on running. He's under pressure, drums sound is increasing, and everything is like that. And then he realizes that I'm taking a wrong direction in the midnight, I'm running somewhere else. Then he keeps on running. Finally, he finds that he's been surrounded. Not exactly. He starts seeing images, hallucination, Brahm. He feels like that, oh, people are coming, people are coming. So what does he do? He has a gun. And he starts firing at those people one by one, at the images. And finally, he's left with one last bullet. Now he knows the revolutionaries will kill him alive, burn him alive. Okay, they are tribals, they are savages, they're going to treat him the way he has treated them back. So he kills himself finally, and that is the silver bullet. He used to tell the tribals that I have just one bullet. It's one bullet in the world, silver bullet, that is with me. He uses his own silver bullet to kill himself. It's amazing classic. But when we talk about Harry Ape, or we talk about this Emperor Jones, make sure you remember that Neil, Eugene O'Neill, did not win any Pulitzer Award for these books. It's quite confusing question if they ask you that Eugene O'Neill has won 4 Pulitzer Award, pick the books. So anybody will go for Harry Ape. Oh, it is a classic. This is the book. Oh, Emperor Jones, it's a classic. This is the book. No, it's not. There are 4 books, and most of these books are not that much famous. ये भी याद रखना that most of these 4 books are not even famous, properly studied in PG courses, in MPhil courses. So Beyond the Horizon, Anna Christie, Strange Interlude, Long Day's Journey into the Night are very important names, because one question, they can give you these 4 books with one exception, and they'll say that Pulitzer awardee Eugene O'Neill has won 4 Pulitzer Award. Pick the odd one out. Pick the book which has not won any Pulitzer Award. So out of these 4, you have to remove one. You have to find out the odd one. Then, when you're reading all of these American writers, we cannot ignore the most important and the female writer, Emily Dickinson. A fly buzz came to my ear. A fly buzz came to my ear. I could not stop for death, so death stopped for me. Success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. Hope is a thing with feathers. Emily Dickinson saw multiple deaths in her early age and got scared of death. Got, we can simply say like somebody who has got the shock. She was so much scared of death that she would hardly go out of her house. Rarely go out of her house. घर से बाहर नहीं जाती थी वो. Her sister Lavinia, she published her poetries after her death, and we found that there were 3,000 plus poetries. 3,000 plus small poetry. She would write on paper, place it in the cupboard. She would write, then place it in the cupboard. When she died, approx 3,000 plus poetries were there, which were published by Lavinia, her sister. So Emily Dickinson, the note of death, the note of melancholiness, the note of philosophy, it's very, very important. Emily Dickinson's ka. But yes, what to read and how much you have to read. You just have to take the basic idea of 3 to 4 poetries, some quotations. From these poetries only that I have already recited, you don't have to read too much. Americans are not that much important part of NET, so you don't have to read too much. See, the biggest problem of NET JRF exam is that the syllabus is vast and it's not fixed. How much you're supposed to read Eliot, how much you're supposed to read Hemingway. The best way is read everything. That's my way. See what I believe. Always take a big route, long route, so that you're better than others. Shortcuts can make you qualify NET, but shortcuts won't help you to be a good teacher. So, especially for this crash course time, yeah, maybe like we have only 15, 20, 30 days left. So, I suggest you finish all these things. Then you have Canadian writers, Australians. You ask yourself that Vineet Pandey says Canadians are important. So, am I prepared with Margaret Atwood? Leave a lot of other important writers. Just tell me this. How many of you are prepared with Margaret Atwood? You can speak for Margaret Atwood for 15 minutes. The Blind Assassin, Surfacing, Power Politics reference, or the other books. How many of you know her role for Canadian writings? Or maybe if you talk about Australians, what is the role of Judith Wright? How many of you can speak for Judith Wright? How many of you can speak for A.D. Hope? So, in short, what I mean to say, these are the best writers. 80, 70 to 80% students don't even prepare these things. Most of the students are helpless, they don't even know these things. How many of you are prepared with complete Chinua HP? How many of you are completely prepared with Gugiwa Thiongo? What if they ask you, what is the main theme of decolonizing the mind by Gugiwa Thiongo? क्या theme है? Do you know the concept decolonizing the mind, the concept by Gugiwa Thiongo has been same reintroduced in Indian literature, Indian style, Indian English by Namvar Singh. Decolonizing the Indian mind by Namvar Singh. I may be wrong, but I think he recently passed away. Few months back, Namvar Singh. You have to read that. Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe. How many of you know this world classic? And if you don't know, this is a 3 a.m. session. Complete it. आज ही complete कर दो. Today complete it. Sir said Margaret Atwood, okay. Sir said Judith Wright, okay. H.B. Thiongo, then Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe, Emile Jola Hudson, Their Eyes Were Watching God. These are the important things. Okay, that's how you have to prepare. The best thing is like we have 238 students. Uh, do you know 238, 41? Wow. That's called madness. That's called craziness. Vineet, no need to read Weep Not Child. Weep Not Child is not important. The river between is very important. When you read Gugi wa Thiongo, the river between is very important. Weep Not Child can be ignored. Even in Chinua HP, things fall apart and no longer at ease. Two books are more important than other books. You can read these two books but leave other books. And yes, Uncle Tom's Cabin, Their Eyes Were Watching God, Ethel Fugard's Blood Knot, they are the classics. Plus, William Wells Brown's Clottel. You don't have to read the story. Title, subtitle are enough. Andre Brink, A Dry White Season. Only title is enough. No need to read. Lewis and Cosi. Lewis and Cosi, Mating Birds, Mandela's Ego. Mandela's Ego, if you read the summary, it's good. If you don't, it's okay. Plus, make sure you remember My Son's Story. Who has written My Son's Story? Nadine Gordimer. Nadine Gordimer's My Son's Story is a classic. It was a part of University of Delhi syllabus, and I think it's still the part of it. My Son's Story by Nadine Gordimer, very very important. The Conservationist, the Booker Awardee book by her, it's very very important. ये जरूर पढ़ना है. Then you have to read Derek Walcott, very very important writer, Caribbean writer. Derek Walcott, Omerus, बहुत 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 important है. Dream on a Monkey Mountain with the reference of the character Makak. It's very very important. Don't read all of these things. Sorry, don't leave all of these things. छोड़ना नहीं. Jagpreet ने लिखा है, seriously I was not aware from all these topics when I joined you. I'm surprised that how much knowledge you have. It's only 30%. I wish you could have seen me when I got my first JRF. I was mad. I knew things like this. I could have completed African literature with all the dates, all the characters, villains, like this. I used to tell my friends that give me tea, give me food, and just tie me in the classroom. I will finish the complete syllabus in the next 10 days. 10 दिन लगातार पढ़ा दूंगा. I will not take any help. I used to challenge myself that can you teach without taking any material in your hand? See, I have nothing. I'm counting names, I'm counting Pulitzer books, I'm counting dates. Because I don't believe in taking shortcuts. You take shortcuts, you cheat yourself. You take shortcuts, you cheat yourself. I still have to do a lot of work. But ये है कि हाँ, I know, I remember things. But it's only because that I revised and my early morning sessions. My whenever you'll ask me to prepare for any exam, for prepare for anything, I will always prefer getting up early morning. This works. This mind, my I have a habit of getting up early and then I can give my 200%. फैक्ट्स याद करने के लिए देखो रिवीजन है. रिवीजन तो करना ही पड़ेगा. मैंने भी रिवाइज किया है. इनफैक्ट वट एवर आई एम मिसिंग, इट्स ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ रिवीजन दैट आई कुड नॉट रिवाइज. So for you, you must have thought that Sir Ms. Meena Kandaswamy is one book. For me, that I didn't revise it. So I was talking to myself inside that why did you miss the book? If I miss the book or if I make a mistake, it becomes a pressure. So I then try to read it again. I try to take questions. Madhyamika says that don't you sleep? Yes, I do, but my timing is like disturbed. Some I can sleep in afternoon, I can sleep in midnight. It's actually I should say like that getting up is not tough for me. There are 2 3 alarms. I'll wake up. Then for 2 3 minutes I'll be lost. 2 3 minutes I'll be angry, cursing myself. That why do you have to get up? And then I'll tell myself that this is the time to perform, and then I can wake up. ये क्या है 2011 2015. Throat is not that okay. Throat is not that okay. Anyway, so let's utilize more time. And 259 students are here. In Indian aesthetics, what you have to read, because you know the time is less. When you read rasa theory, make sure you remember 8 different rasas. Bharat Muni concept, 8 different rasa: hasya rasa, uh, shringar ras, vibhas ras, and anger raudra ras. All of these rasas very important. Then they may ask you what is the ninth rasa, the shanti ras. Then 10th and 11th, the vatsalya ras and the bhakti ras concept. So most of the students who are preparing for net exam, they don't even know that Indian aesthetics have become the important part of net JRF exam. Indian aesthetics are being asked. It is the problem of India that Indian students are not even being provided with proper knowledge, proper books. उन बच्चों को पता ही नहीं है. They don't even know that rasa theories have been included and there are repeated questions. So make sure you remember all of these things. Then Bhartrihari's Sphota concept, Sphota Siddhant. Then Kuntak's Vakrokti Siddhant, Vakrokti Jivitam. It's very, very important. Then most of the books, most of the names, they are very, very important. They may ask you who did the commentary of sound. Anand Vardhan, Dhvani Loka, who did the commentary of on Natya Shastra. Abhinav Gupta in his famous book Abhinav Bharati. Then we have other writers writing Kavya Mimamsa or Kavya Jivitam. We have multiple references. But make sure you remember the concept of Acharya Kuntak Vakrokti Siddhant, 2 times repeated in net exam. Acharya Kuntak Vakrokti Siddhant, the statement which is indirect statement, that's Vakrokti. Along with these things, you can also go for the names like Kalidas' famous book Abhigyan Shakuntalam. It has been taken as a reference. Abhigyan Shakuntalam has been taken as a reference in the modern teachings. When even I teach Bhav, Vibhav, Anubhav, Alamman, Uddipan, when I teach Bhav, Vibhav, Anubhav, Alaman, Udipan, I also take the reference of uh, this guy, Kalidas' famous book, Abhigyan Shakuntalam. He has written a lot of other books, Kumar Sambhav, Malvika Agnimitram, uh, Malika Agnimitram, Kumar Sambhav, Kirata Arjuniyam. These are the books written by Kalidas. Mirchakatika, I'm not sure if he has written. Yes, I have heard. Yes, beneath it's in DU syllabus, I know that. Oh, we have a Sanskrit student. That's great. So, Sanskrit student must be surprised that we English literature students are reading all these things. Abhigyan Sakuntalam, Kumar Sambhav, the love story of Lord Shiva and the goddess mother, Power Shakti. And then we have Kirata Arjuniam, the fight of Arjun with Lord Shiva. Then we have Meghdut, Mirchakatikam. Okay, Shudrak has written. I'm not sure about Mirchakatikam. That's great. We have to read all of these things. Bhav, Vibhav, Anubhav, Alamban, Uddipan. Slaughterhouse 5 is important. Yes, you must read that. In Indian modern theatre, if you are reading literature, you are prepared for exam. And in Indian modern theatre, you do not know Vijay Tendulkar, then I suggest you not to go to the exam. Save your money, save your time. Don't take auto and go to the exam. If you do not know Vijay Tendulkar, Silence the Court is in Session is a must read, a metafiction style book. Shanta Court Chalu Ahe, that's in Marathi. So Silence the Court is in Session, must read hai bhai. Sakharam Binder, a modern person. He helps women, destitute women, separated women, brings them home, give them work, makes them self-dependent. In short, independent. But then he's again having affair with everyone. So he's using them as a mistress, but he's helping them to be free. So is he a villain? Is he a hero? The Cyclist, The Fifth Women, they're all important books. Then Ghasiram Kotwal, one of the best example of poetic justice. You have to read all of these things. Then, in Indian modern theatre, we cannot proceed without Girish Karnad. Karnad is very, very important. Tughlaq, with the reference of 5 years planning of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, with the symbol of chess, Python, plus Tughlaq has written multiple other stories. Tali Danda is there, then where there is Girish Karnad's famous book, I'm missing the name, where this is a reference from taken from Anantmurti, Samskara's reference is there. I miss the name, Hayavadana, yes, the head of the, yes, Hayavadana. See, division is important. So Hayavadana is there, Taladanda is there, then there are some other works. Hitina Hunja is there, that's important. Nagmandla is there. You have to read all of these. At least Tughlaq is very important. Do not forget Tughlaq. Hayavadana, basic story, very, very important. Taken from Katha Sarit Sagar. Katha Sarit Sagar, which inspired Thomas Mann to write transposed heads. That's very, very important. Don't miss these things. Then you also can go for some modern theatre writers. Though generally they don't ask random questions, but you can go for modern theatre writers. Badal Sarkar for third theatre is amazing. Badal Sarkar's concept of Nukkad Natak, concept of third theatre, you must read that thing. And along with this, you'll also know that the existential play written by Badal Sarkar, Ivam Indrajit, is a classic. I must tell you, when I was teaching Evam Indrajit in Rajasthan, when I didn't know what is English literature, so I was thinking why he has written this play. This play has no story. Why? How to teach the play? This has no story. That was existential play. And as I also came from a small town background with no guidance of Vineet Pandey, so I didn't know this is existential play, this is by Badal Sarkar, or I should read, I should explain it to my students. This is the problem of students. Even their teachers don't know these things. I was also one of those kind of teachers. I was wondering what is the book? This book has no story. How to teach my students? Waiting for Godot, when I read for the first time, I was like, why they are calling it a great book? This doesn't even have a proper story. No suspense, no murder, no killing, no love story, no ending. But at the time, I didn't know that. So, what you have to do, you make sure you read that. Then the next writer is Mahesh Dattani. Okay, the final solutions: Dance Like a Man, Tara. Dance Like a Man is a great story. It's the story of a person he is dedicated for his art, dance. A person who loves dancing, he's a dedicated dancer. But the father doesn't like it. So father doesn't like it. Father thinks that he's bringing shame to family by dancing. He's bringing insult to family. So father gets him married. Then he finds that his daughter-in-law is a very ambitious lady, and father starts influencing the daughter-in-law. Why? So is the, so that the daughter-in-law can help father to control that boy. So father is also controlling the boy. The lady is also controlling her husband for not to do all of these things because she's been indirectly bribed by father. Father is influencing her with a lot of money so that the son is taken away. Okay. And what happens then? It dies at the end. The lady cries. The lady realizes that she has done a murder. She understands. Lilith Dubey has performed a role. I've seen a performance. Lilith Dubey, amazing actress of Bollywood. It's amazing. Yes, he commits suicide, but the lady thinks that they have done a murder. She and her father-in-law, they have done a murder, organized murder, planned murder. Means you frustrate somebody to kill himself, this kind of thing. Lilith Dubey's performance is amazing if you watch these things. So today we have talked about Indian aesthetics, African literature, most important books from moderns and students Canadians. Then we have talked about Dalit literature. We have talked about some Indian modern theatre, and now it's time for homework. Malik ji, so cute of you, so sweet of you. Malik ji is saying that I'm feeling sleepy. Out of these 256, I'm sure 100% that 200 of them are feeling sleepy. Trust me, it's not needed to torture yourself. I also face the bad impact. I get up, I won't be able to sleep now. I have to go to office to go for some recordings, some reading, some work. So even I go for it. But you have to, either you have to train yourself. You know the NSG commandos? Who are these guys? NSG commandos. Many of you have your family members. They are in police. They are in army. They are trained like that to get up at any moment and fight back. The commandos, the police, the army, they are prepared like that. It is, not that okay, the enemy will allow you to take tea, take breakfast, and then come to fight. Just get up and take your gun and decide where to fire. So you also can train yourself, train your brain. If you train your brain, see, I did a lot of work and my results are in front of you. You know the all things I have done. So obviously it's because of this thing. So train your brain. It will pain for one day, it will pain for second day, third day, but your dream is bigger than your pain. And if you're not taking any pain for your dream, it means you're not dreaming enough. अगर आपके सपने पूरे करने में आपकी जान ना निकले, तो इसका मतलब आप सपना ढंग से देख नहीं रहे हो. तो मेहनत करो. ठीक है, कौन कहता आसमान में छेद नहीं होता, एक पत्थर तो तबीयत से उछालो यारो. तो दैट्स व्हाट आई वांट टू से. वर्क हार्ड. 41 मिनट्स की क्लास हो गई, नींद भाग गई होगी. 264 स्टूडेंट्स आर हियर. I've given you the important homeworks, whatever the books I have talked about. Watch the video again. If you have missed anything, watch the video again. Take a pen, paper. If I talked about a writer, write it. If I talked about a book, write it. Finish it. One of you says that my daughter is watching. Blessings to you. Thank you for watching me. Okay, guys. अब सोना नहीं है. सो मत जाना. Especially if you woke up to join the class. Don't sleep. Ask yourself, why did you wake up? Just to sleep again? You want to continue with the boring life, that poor life, struggling life? Every day you're thinking about money and you have no money? Don't sleep. Fight back for your dreams. Thank you.